What's going on, people? It's Sunday and I feel like talking, so I'm back. It's early. Um, in the mornings. And I'm watching. I gotta stop it because I don't want that fucking copyright bullshit. I was just watching the Chameleons play live. A clip from this month, a few days ago, last week. It looks like the 12th, was it? Yeah. October 12th is the date on the live clip that I just saw. I'm really honored to have played with Mark Burgess and Steve, who's the second guitar player in the Chameleons now. I got to be a chameleon. I got to play with Mark. Great guy. And I love their music. Love their music. People, I am so glad that someone said in the comments that they get what I'm saying about the Stones, because it's not a diss. I love those guys. But I don't like that music. Not really, you know what I mean? Not really. So a couple things here. And I wanted to share some music that's important to me from my past that just hit me this morning. But I want to acknowledge that I got a package from Trish. Mixmaster Trish sent me 2 more with lots of stickers. I think that's funny. Now Trish just said to send me some coffee, but I think he forgot to put the coffee in the package, and that's fine because I have plenty of coffee. It's these stickers. Quite frankly, most of them I don't know what to do with. This Bowie one is cool, but you're just so sweet, And then these Beatles stickers. Thank you, Trish. Decent human being. I also received again this. The gifts do blow me away. They do. Arthur in England continues to send me music. I really appreciate it. I don't know why, but thank you, Arthur, because you send me some really wonderful stuff. And what he sent me this time were 2 CDs by George Russell, Aesthetics, and the Stratus Seekers Revisited. I've spoken about my love for George Russell and his composing in particular. And I just got this, so I haven't read it. There's a lot of information there. I did put it on, and it's, well, what can be said? Especially when you look at some of the people playing with him. Eric Dolphy, Don Ellis, Steve Swallow, Joe Hunt. Okay, that's all you need to know. Top players. Wonderful jazz. I've listened to most of it already. This was an immediate, this is my shit. And it's wonderful. Yeah, I played it already. Fred Frith with Ensemble Moderne. Traffic Continues. Also with Eku More, Zena Parkins, and Fred Frith. Interestingly, the date that I went on recently, the coffee date with a woman I met recently, is worked with Zena Parkins when she was in New York. We had a good conversation about that. This is an interesting and package. The way that the disc goes in, it's kind of different. I don't know if they... odd. This is an orchestral piece. Fred Frith is one of my favorite guitar players. And he's just a very, very creative individual. I also received the latest releases from Public Eyesore. And I get to refer to myself again now, which I have to, beat my own drum. I can't afford a publicist. Public Eyesore is a label that really takes chances. Brian Day runs the label. He puts out stuff that is very challenging to listen to. In some senses, in one sense, it's like he's documenting events, documenting things. Because I have some releases on the label that are really hard to listen to. Okay, so let me put this into perspective. So I've been talking about one of my latest CDs, my collaboration with Brian Day, Woven Territories, Public Eyesore, which is number 154, this 154th release. I just received Public Eyesore number 155, their next release, Seeded Plain, Badminton, The Volleys. This is Brian Day and Jay Creamer, two instrument makers. And this they recorded this in India. Jay was over there for an extended period doing educational work, teaching workshops on instrument building in India and stuff. And they also have a long-standing relationship musically. So I got this. My first listen is I immediately recognized the sound of their contraptions, and I will use that term also because they're instruments, and they're also these interesting, weird contraptions, put together with all sorts of stuff you can find around the house and around town. So first listen is, there they are. The next one, number 156 in the series, I'm number 154, is Mammoth Flower by Philip Gayle. And this is again where he's playing a variety of instruments, including the waterphone and a door, but bass, cello, mandolin, percussion. I love the artwork on this one. Cool artwork. These folks got gatefolds. Mine is not a gatefold on Public Eyesore because I shared in the cost of producing this, and because I don't have any money, I said, well, got to keep the cost down. Would have loved to have had a more elaborate. Yeah, I'm self-referring. Why not? I would have loved to have seen our release like those, but I didn't have the money. And they also sent me the latest Eloine Ypsmael release on the associated label Of the three new things, I've checked them all out once, because that's one thing that I do realize. I was just thinking about this the other day. It's like I am at a point where there are records that I may never listen to again, and there are many things that I heard and likely I will only listen to once. It's just the reality of life. So I try to listen to things right away to get a first impression. And at the risk of, again, being too frank, of the three new Public Eyesore releases, mine is the most interesting to listen to. It is. Check these out. Okay? I know that because it's my background, human behavior and psychology. I know that there are many people who will immediately bristle at and have a reaction at me blowing my own horn, but I'm not doing anything wrong, and I kind of have to do it, because there's no one to speak for me. Brian, if you see this, I applaud your efforts and your creativity and your boldness with the label Public Eyesore. I don't know how many years it's been going now. This is my second release on the album, on the label. I have a single, a 45 on the label as well. thank you for including me. I think this is some. I think our release is one of the best things you put out on your label, not just because I'm on it, but because of what I knew and know that I want to bring to the table sonically. And we did it on this. This is a very interesting journey sonically, and it was a collaboration. It was the two of us putting it together. So, like I said, blowing my own horn a little bit, really proud to be part of that pantheon, or whatever word works. Proud to be part of this group of artists who have been released on Public Eyesore. Ron Anderson, who is in the VC, long distance associate, who just toured with the Acid Mother's Temple, he has a release on Public Eyesore. Nels Klein of Wilco has stuff on Public Eyesore. Okay, I'm proud. I'm proud of those associations, just like I just said. Super proud of the fact that I've played with Mark Burgess of the Chameleons. Yeah, those are accomplishments. I love, don't mind. No, I don't. It's not that I don't mind. I want to share it. I want to document it here. Do I intend to give deeper listens to these new releases, plus the mixes I got from Trish? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I'm going to say again, I went to bed listening to Lorraine's I Killed Your Dog. This is fantastic. This is definitely, this could easily be album of the year. Not second to Slow Dive. This could easily surpass it. Both those albums are killing me this year. Love it. Related to Carla Bley, who just recently passed away. Great musician. Pulled this and played this, the Jimmy Giuffre 3, Thesis, which features Ictus, one of her great compositions, but also two of her husbands. The three is Jimmy Giuffre, Paul Bley, and Steve Swallow, her husband, whom when she passed, she was married to. This is excellent. And it's also interesting because Jimmy Giuffre plays clarinet on it. I don't particularly like the clarinet, but he makes it work. Now, I like the bass clarinet. And when I was a kid in school, playing in band, one of my best friends played bass clarinet. I loved it because we rehearsed a lot as friends. I love the sound of that instrument. Okay, I want to talk about the Moody Blues. Okay, so before Genesis had the big progressive rock impact on me, it was the Beatles and then the Moody Blues. I want to say quite seriously that the Moody Blues saved my life. First, I'll show this. This is the original Moody Blues when Denny Lane was in the band. I got that right? Yep. And they had the hit doing the cover of Go Now, an R&B ghetto hit. It was too black for white radio back then, so they had to do it. No comparison. If you've heard the original Go Now, there is no comparison. The Moody Blues didn't butcher it, but there's no comparison. But what I want to get to is this album. This album literally kept me alive. Days of Future Past as a kid. I've shared with you that I have a chronic depression, or it was diagnosed as major depression once. Man, I hate how that light does that, but there's nothing I can do. I'm yellow. My first suicide action, I was 10 or 11. Yeah, that young, already that depressed, already seeing the writing on the wall about life. And what I was seeing then is still true, you know. I've learned how to cope, thankfully, and matured since then. But the second time I was very despondent and very close to suicide was about the time this album came out, I was 67, 68, so preteen, very depressed kid, loner, outsider, um, misperceived by almost everyone, including members of my family. So when I heard this for the first time on the radio, and this is back in the days of underground FM radio, where they would play entire sides of albums, I was transfixed. It saved me, okay? Not so much the song Nights in White Satin. It's these other songs, Twilight Time, Sunset, Dawn is a Feeling. When I would put this music on at that particular time of depression, because I made, 3 attempts on my life, seriously. Apparently I wasn't supposed to go. This brought me hope. This just, when I played this, it really helped pull me through a very deep depression where I was real close to doing something stupidly fatal. So I just thought I'd like to just finally share how important this album and the band, the Moody Blues, are to me. I love the Moody Blues in those early albums. On the Threshold of a Dream. I have 2 copies of this, the US and the UK. Unashamedly, I love this music and the sentiment. I really love the words. And of course, they've been dismissed by critics over the years as hippy dippy flower power. They did too much acid. Bullshit. These albums and these words were instructive and very helpful to me as a teen. And the next one, this is to me just a classic. And this is one of my all-time favorite albums. This is in the top 10 for sure. To Our Children's Children, the Moody Blues. What a work. What an amazing work. Every song on this album. This album has a lot of meaning for me personally. The music and the words. Through the eyes of a child, I never thought I'd live to be 100. Beyond, out and in. Oh my God. And then they end it with that epic song, Watching and Waiting. It's like the sound of people about to ascend into heaven. Back when I thought there was such a thing as heaven. Fantastic band. I got to see the Moody Blues in the 70s. Front row seat when they came here. Front row center. Right in front of Justin Hayward. Blew me away how his guitar stayed in tune the whole concert. He never tuned it once and it stayed in tune. I've hardly seen any shows where that's happened. And the tuning was just immaculate. I cried. They brought tears to my eyes. And Jimmy Spheris, of all people, was the opening act. Question of balance. Again, they're still firing on all fours on this album. For me, this is still just fantastic. Just some of the best music ever. And the sentiments, it's like these sentiments, caring about people, caring about humanity, wanting to grow, wanting to have peace. It's all been lost. The world has just been hijacked by greedy, selfish people who have been masquerading all along that, oh yeah, we're in charge of things. We care about you. We've got all the money and we'll fix things. Lying motherfuckers. Then this one, In Search of the Lost Chord. Do I need? Yes. I don't need, but this is a reissue and I don't have the gatefold. I don't need it, but again, another just fantastic album. These are some of the best progressive rock albums ever made for me, for my taste. And then the last 2 of the best run of Moody Blues albums are these. Every Good Boy Deserves Favor. Oh, now you get the picture. They made good use of gatefolds. And again, they were still imparting that wisdom. I call it wisdom. They were still imparting wisdom with these last two records, that one and Seventh Sojourn. They're still Lost in a Lost World. The title of the first track, tell it like it is. This is that's how old the record is in my collection. I've had it since I was a kid. Very, very important. And so that to me was the classic run of Moody Blues. And over the years I would pick up, well, actually this one I inherited from my friend who passed away from cancer in 2000. I can tell because of the cat damage on the top of the spines. He had these cats who would get on top of his records. And Caught Live +5. I also have Octave. These are less important to me. They're okay albums. The Present. They tried to keep it going, and they wrote some more good pop songs, but those first albums, for me, are life changers. And then Long Distance Voyager. I unashamedly love the Moody Blues and wanted to share that with you and the importance of that music to me. I'm also going to very unashamedly continue to promote my own music because this is the main outlet I have to do it. And I don't have money like the Rolling Stones to do press and stuff, okay? That's part of why I'm doing this. And I know my music is substantial. Interlude. People are letting me know, I'm getting, thank you for giving me the feedback, folks, okay? How much you're enjoying this music. It's wonderful to drive to so I'm going to keep saying, grab a copy. Grab a copy. I ain't bullshitting. I'm making world-class music in this room right here. Okay? Take care.